So, just a few days ago, Sony announced that they will no longer be releasing physical copies of PlayStation games come 2028. And from the sounds of it, Microsoft is headed in the same direction with a future project, despite how in the past they did something just like this and lost lots of sales. I'm just going to go ahead and say that I have always preferred physical media such as Blu-ray, DVD, even VHS, of course. I will not be conforming to this idea that digital/streaming is so much better, because it's not. Occasionally, I will get a digital copy of a movie or a video game. Sometimes I'll need one of them right there and then, or if I don't think a movie or a game is worth buying physically. But just because there's a convenience factor to it doesn't mean that we need to get rid of disc 100%. So I'm just going to go ahead and put things into bullets here. I'm not just talking about PlayStation or Xbox or that. I'm talking about streaming and digital as a whole. So not just Sony, but general digital media, streaming, etc. Now, first point I want to bring up is the fact that not every single person has a high-speed internet connection. Yeah. Despite what these companies and the media want you to believe, not everyone out here has a 80 gig super advanced internet connection. Lots of us have smaller plans because nobody can even afford to live right now. And some of us don't have jack shit. In 2015-16, I didn't have any internet at all. And I was a teenager. Of course, I didn't have no cell phone like the majority of every other 13-year-old at the time. In 1996, these things could have worked perfectly fine, but in 2016, absolutely not. Besides the point, my point is, you need an internet connection to even buy the games digitally. Whether it's on the console or on the PlayStation app. You don't have that? Well, it sucks to be you. You ain't getting any new video games. What's that? You only make $18,000 a year? Well, you can get fucked. Is this what they're trying to do? Make it so that gamers who aren't as fortunate as some of us can't have any new video games? Well, they're the minority. Nobody cares about them. Everybody has an internet connection and also has $1 million in their bank account every week. Hey, I thought this was a 2020 and the 2020s were all about giving the minorities the bigger and better deal. Oh wait, that argument doesn't hold up now because it's not your opinion. Bottom line, we shouldn't need internet to buy a video game. I should be able to go to a store and pick it up if that's what works for me. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, the convenience factor is a scam. Yeah, next I'm going to talk about this supposed convenience factor. So 4K, DVD, Blu-ray, VHS, you have to put the format in the machine. 3 of those typically require you to wait for FBI warnings, logos, operate through a main menu. It was real bad with DVD at the time. And at the time, of course, I saw that as a major inconvenience. But with the rise of streaming and digital, I realize now that things could certainly be a lot worse. The idea on paper of streaming is a billion-dollar idea. Always is. Just pull up the service like Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, etc. You got a whole library of movies and TV series to choose from. Watch it. The end. No process putting the format into the player. No FBI warnings. Just lay on your couch like a total fat ass and call it a day. It'll do the work by itself. Hell yeah, you could get to live the life of those fat people from Wall-E. Well, it's not as simple as it sounds. You can't just buy a subscription to a streaming service and be able to watch any movie you want. Streaming services put movies up for a certain amount of time, and then they're gone after a certain amount of time. So, if I want to watch Mortal Kombat 1995, if I want to watch Night at the Museum, I got both of those movies right here in my hand. I can watch either of them however many times I want, and my life goes on. With streaming, I only have 95 business days to watch it, and if I don't, well, you had a job you needed to go to, you had a wife, she's pregnant, and now she's giving birth. Well, it sounds like you're too busy to watch a movie in the first place. Maybe in 2 years those movies will be back up for you to try and watch again. Sucks to be you. Actually, no. I got these movies on Blu-ray, I got Mortal Kombat here on VHS as well. So if my wife's giving birth and I can't watch it right then and there, I'll be alright. You do not own anything on a streaming service. You have it until the company says you don't own it anymore. Or, you have it until the company says you don't anymore. PlayStation has plans of removing over 500 movies bought digitally from their customers this September. Let me ask, what do you people intend to do now? If physical is so bad, what are you going to do? Go buy it on some other platform? Not even get your full library of movies back? And then same thing will happen again? You're going to bitch about that then, too? Countermeasure, I have multiple ways to watch Terminator 2. I have the Skynet Edition Blu-ray in the other room, and I also have the dual cover Terminator 1 and 2 VHS I found over at, forget where I found it, but it was in Oregon, Illinois somewhere. But my point is, I've got multiple ways to watch Terminator 2, so that won't be a problem for me. Sony just took your money and ran. If you don't do something about it now, then they'll do it again. And so will every other company. Therefore, I'm not blowing thousands on digital film purposes. As if I had thousands to do that. And that brings us into my next point. Nobody has the money to pay for 10 grand worth of streaming services. Yeah, believe it or not, it's such a hard concept for some of you Puritans to believe. Unless you're a super rich content creator or making $75 an hour, working 10 hours a day, there's no fucking way anyone can afford all this shit. Something's on Netflix? Well, get your wallet out. Something's on Disney Plus? Well, better give us $20 in. I'm not sure that's what it costs to actually have Disney Plus, but you see what I mean. Every time you want to watch a movie, you're going to have to buy several streaming services just to get all of those movies. And by the time you find all your movies you want to watch, you're going to be getting an eviction notice slapped on your door. Unless you're living at mom's house, of course. If I pay for each movie, I get it if I pay for each movie I get physically, I can watch Night at the Museum however many times I want until the copy dies. I get it. Some releases out there are out of print or hard to find, not to mention severely overpriced. But then again, one single payment per movie, and it is my copy. Again, not happening with streaming. Even if some physical releases are overpriced, it's not like I'm going to spend $60 on it, and then I get it 6 days later, put it in the player, and then I gotta pay another $60 to watch the movie. Fuck that. Oh, well, if you own a bunch of movies physically, you're a hoarder. First of all, get your fat 779-pound ass off the couch and get the company's vibrator out of your ass as well. Second of all, what do you think we're doing? What do you think we're doing here? Throwing them all over the floor? The answer is simple. Get a damn shelf, for God's sake. Get multiple shelves. Can't own anything digitally, sure as hell can't put that on a shelf. Anything that you purchase digitally has the possibility of being taken from you as soon as the company doesn't have the rights to it anymore. I'm not going to get rid of everything I own just so I can spend 32 years trying to find the movie I want to watch. Suck it. My next point. Physical retailers will go out of business. If Sony and Microsoft continue in this direction, game stores will go out of business. Like GameStop, for example. They'll have no new inventory, no games to sell. Nobody wants to buy a fucking download box. A download box. Well, nobody wants to buy that, but nobody wants to buy a fucking download code in a box. That's stupid as hell. GameStop's biggest operation is selling video games to their customers. There's going to be vacant lots left and right the second Sony does this. Maybe they'll still operate online and such, maybe selling consoles and accessories and whatnot, but it wouldn't be GameStop anymore at that rate. It'd be the console store. That is, of course, not in the same conversation about the various other problems with GameStop. What I'm talking about is physical retailers as a whole. Sony is going to make it so that the next time anybody wants to have a physical game, they will have to go online. No other option. Get it online. Which not everyone can do from their house. Make it a damn chore for everyone, will you? Game market is going to have a huge problem on their hands if they continue in this direction. My last point, piracy will be on the rise. Many people just pirate stuff to get around outrageous pricing. Me, I would like to be a responsible American citizen and obey the law, but if they're going to make things so everyone has to conform to this new digital is the future shit, which I won't be, of course, piracy is going to be at a very high notoriety level. People have already been saying they're switching to PC in 2028. No one will be buying stuff from retailers legally. If piracy becomes normalized, there's going to be two problems. The game market will be short billions, and there will be a crackdown on piracy. People will be getting arrested on a daily basis and doing years worth of time, which this will be the attempt to enforce the unaffordable pricing of now. Worst case scenario, they're going to do that, and then there won't be a PlayStation 7 or an Xbox Series A for ass. They'll be done. And customers will move on to other things. We'll never see another PlayStation console again. The end. We might get the PlayStation 6, but it's not going to bring in as much money as the PS5 did. Let's just say that much. The more companies like Sony that continue to push 100% digital, the more pirates there's going to be. And that sums it all up. This move by Sony, and possibly Microsoft, is going to cause a huge problem. I'm not going all digital. Many other people will not be either. Sometimes I might buy a digital copy of something, but it is not my way of life. Whether you want to admit it or not, owning a copy of a movie is far more satisfactory than renting thousands from a streaming service, and then you can't watch them after a certain point. And then you gotta buy it again, yada yada yada. I will not conform. Suck it.